locate the ship at the helium gate. Yeah. So basically, okay, well, how's the timer looking here? 2. So we can do 1 day's worth of stuff. Okay. Prime ship mind. Engine components. This thing. Okay, these are interface. Okay, these are different. Yeah, I have neither, but I can get one. Okay, cool. The tanker, yeah. So I guess for right now, just get as much currency as possible. And we'll go on a contract at the end of next cycle. Don't give me even energy. I should have done it the other way around. The 2 might be negative. Neutral. Okay, I'll take that. Which means that let's scavenge for fuel. Going to end cycle is going to catch up a little bit. That's 3 per travel. Okay. 1 point of... Yeah, these are the 2 points where you can earn currency, so... And that was a positive outcome. It's fine. Yeah, not the best earning spot. That's okay. It's not that big of an issue. I think we are good on fuel actually, so let's get the stranded rig. We only have Bliss, huh? We have no one local. Well, let's see what we can do. Just the 2 of us. Since Seraphim is still injured. Keep your hands where I can see them. Voice crackles over the open channel of your suit's comm as you hear the stranded rig. You slowly approach a little as you move towards the ship, shape lumpy and skeletal in the distant light of the sun. Warm welcome. That's well for the rest of the job. He shoots you a concerned look. You look up at the stranded ship ahead. Clearly, they are feeling a bit exposed. We're here to help. Oh, I figured that, Wes retorts. Otherwise, I would have put a hole in that shinery of yours already. You arrive at the side of the rig, inspecting the damage as you do. Half the hull plating and big chunks of the internal structure seems to be missing, but you have a feeling that this is not what you are here to fix. The airlock opens, and you move inside. The interior all exposed wires and metal framework. The systems wheeze and shudder as it cycles. That's an excellent look. I have value here, so if you're looking to steal something, you're welcome to it. Alma greets you plainly inside the rig. You do your work, that's needed, and I'll let you take your half of the haul. Understood? Well, alright then. Her face is as placid and unchanging as a rock. Here's a short of it. Engine's conked out on me and I'm no engineer. Can usually get her going, but this time no dice. Looks between you and the rest of the crew. Surprised there are so many of you, to be honest. Please smile sympathetically. Sorry about that, but don't worry. I've worked on these engines before. They give Alma a wink. I can handle this. Don't be so sure. Alma leads you towards the engine room, the layout of the rig much the same as yours. This girl isn't a sensitive type. You need to know how to handle her. The central corridor of the ship snakes in a way that isn't familiar to you, and you realize this rig is far more heavily modified than your own. Something that becomes all the more obvious when you arrive in the engine room. Rather than the rig's stock engine, a singular block and double turbine, with feed lines between, Alma's engine is a mess of piping and feed lines linking up multiple raw components welded to the interior frame of the room. Your eyes widen at the sight. Been adding to her since I was young. Alma smiles at the chaos. I look like a mess, but she purrs when she's running. Lucy's shaking their head slowly. Oh, sleeper? They let out a puff of air. This is going to be special. You struggle to tell if they are intimidated or impressed. Perhaps it's a little bit of both. That's about all of it. Alma gestures to the exploded engine. Get running and you'll get your half of the haul. We'll do what we can. Up here, time wasters. Alma squints at you. You certainly are a strange crew. Alma glides over to a window, set in the side of the engine room, and points to the corroded remains of a facility deep in the asteroid's loose, dusty surface. As there's the hull. Taps on the glass. As good a find as I've seen. The hull is a building? Building and all that's in it. Alma screws up her face. But, you too good for scraping? Scrapping? Probably scrapping. Alright, the building's mine. Scrappers claim. Alma scratches at her mess of hair. But she helped me get her running and you're welcome to take what you want from it. Up to a maximum of 50% of raw mass, that is. Okay, it's not what we expected. She looks you up and down, and you feel the first acknowledgement of you being a sleeper. I doubt it'll trouble one of you. Anyway, you're leaving me with nothing unless my girl here is back in shape by the time you're done. Folds her arms across her chest. Get to it. Turn back to the engine, your eyes tracing the madness of the interlocking systems. You are starting to have the horrible feeling that this contract is some kind of an elaborate joke. Ooh, I like the design. I like the design of this contract. Hollowed out asteroid. Some strange, like maybe. What can these be? Solar panels would be the obvious guess. Let's see. Component search. Gather scrap. Okay, it's not too bad. There's some hidden treasures, or we can use Bliss's skill. And here, yeah, cool. Yeah, engine labor, I'm good on that. Though it's okay. That shouldn't be that big of a problem. Well, let's see. So I'm going to use Bliss on the component search. Okay, neutral. That's fine. And here, let's focus on getting her baby back. Yeah. Roll. Nice. Good roll so far. Let's get a 6 in engine study. And a 5 in engine labor. Good roll so far, good rolls. And I'm not going to push for that one. Let's sleep on it. Okay. 4 and Bless, so I can make that to a 5. Let's use the 4. Let's use the 4. Nice, positive outcome. Good to see, good to see. Oh, do a bit of scrap gathering. Don't want to over push it necessarily. Okay. Let's see a 3 here, and I'll use the 5 on the ship. Go. Nice pal you got here. Alma announces herself on the open channel. We'll make scrap as of your kids yet. That scrap learn you pretty bad if you know what you're doing. Continues. Holmes rocks, always a good place to offload. I'll give you that for free. Look at a stack of ragged torch cut plates as they are loaded up into the rig's cargo hold, and you have to admit, you do feel a little pride at the work done. Thanks. You earned it. Glance over your shoulder at the cockpit of Alma's rig, where you can see her watching. What is this place? There's a click on the open channel as it closes, and Alma seems to take a moment to consider her response. She clears her throat. How about you telling me what you think, Sleeper? Signal station? Ha! Sounds like a mystery story. Alma coughs and splutters. Oh no, nothing as interesting as sacred communiques were coming out of this place when it was still alive. Alma goes quiet for a moment, but you wait, getting the feeling there's still more to be said. Did all the raids on the far side? You turn and look up the rock towards the broken frames and panels you can just make out in the dust, catching the sun's weak light. Those were your first priority. Get power running. Recharge the cells for the excavators, the welders. Turn the scrap into something livable. Falters and coughs. Look at them now. See the Tumbletown collection of panels. They look like they were scattered by a careless hand, discarded without much thought. The comms channel clicks off, and you see the distant silhouette of Alma drift from view out of the cockpit of her rig. You turn back to see that the scrap has been loaded into the ship, or half of the hull, though you suspect this place is more than just a hull to Alma. Yeah, she definitely was doing something here. Okay, so I can push the 2 up to a 5. Which okay, I probably would want to though at this point. Yeah, let's push that 2 to a 5 because I need Bliss's input on this one, the component search. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a neutral there. It's okay. Because effectively I can finish whatever I'm doing by myself. Oh, a 6, nice. That's 6 applied. Smash that. And I guess, yeah, we have plenty of supplies. The weird thing is that I can make her, like, I can finish it now. Let's use the 5 here. And I get a positive out of that. Okay, sure. There is a hiss and a rush of stale air as the sealed bay deep in the facility's tunnels opens for the first time in years. The beams of your suit lamps reach into the dark, picking out waves of dust and debris. They reveal a small bay, big enough for a shuttle, but not a rig like yours. As you glide inside, those same beams catch on the frame of something that sits at the center of the bay. It is wide and flat, with a cylindrical central section that runs in its length. As you move around it, looking at the section of plates and open frame, you realize it is a ship, or at least it was. This frame, filled with rusted components and partially covered with old hull plates, suggests a fast ship, an arrowhead designed to cut through debris and even atmosphere. You float up a little to see into its central cylinder, and your lamps reveal a cockpit outfitted for 2 people, one sat behind the other. The seats are carefully upholstered, and you realize this was a labor of love. The whole ship, in fact, seems built by hand, a custom model, with little function out there beyond looping around the turrets for the thrill of it. Looking closer, brushing away the surface corrosion, you see flames painted on the hull plates in curling patterns, the brush strokes visible even after what must be many years. As you inspect the half-finished ship, a sense of quiet wonder keeping you silent, you notice a glint towards its rear. You approach it and see an engine, all interlocking tubes and flared vents. It is unlike any you have ever seen, but the holes in its sides suggest it may never have been finished. Those holes are in the source of the glint. You reach in and pull out some strange-looking engine components, each pristine and complex. You hesitate for a moment, suddenly feeling like you shouldn't be disturbing such an intimate object. But it occurs to you that nothing would please the person who built the ship more than seeing these handmade components put to use. You secure them to your suit and push away from the ship. As you leave the bay, you turn and take one last look at the treasure inside. It's possible that it never flew, or perhaps it was in the middle of an extensive refit when its place was abandoned. Either way, its flying years have long since passed, and now, with the bay open, it will corrode much faster, melding with the anonymized scrap of this place in mere cycles. You suppress a shiver and then start the journey back up to the surface, aware of the components dangling at your side. Okay, let's finish this. You'll gather in Alma's rig to see the engine tested. The engine room purrs and chitters. It seems too warm with the sound of the engine, with the polyrhythmic vibrations that rattle through the open framework of the interior. You look over to Alma and you see her eyes are closed, a small tremble at the corner of her mouth. You look at the engine, Alma's engine, an object that you have come to respect over the past cycles, even if you haven't necessarily grown to love it. It is, as you see it now, a difficult thing to love. Whole parts of it make little sense, and its oldest systems, those now bypassed and made obsolete by newer additions, still somehow play an integral role you don't understand. It is unwieldy, and unnecessarily so, and the accumulation of parts and patches from its long series makes it surprisingly fragile. Meanwhile, other sections have been welded and re-welded so many times that they are impregnable and will never be able to replace. It is uncooperative and prone to sudden outbursts of cooling fluid or even fuel. It is restless and will begin to leak when left idle for too long. It is always too cold or too hot thanks to the coolant and the fuel, and it is hard to predict which it will be at any given moment. And yet, despite all this, it is an object you feel close to, that you feel a kinship with, because in the end, you too are an accumulation of broken parts, long outliving their operational limits. You too are a machine that has become a story, and a story that has grown beyond the ability of others to understand it. You look over to Alma again and Bliss is there beside her. You can see they are talking, but with the engine running you cannot hear them. You watch for a moment, Bliss now patiently listening as, in faltering words, Alma explains something to them. Bliss nods, and then suddenly they embrace gently and with care. Bliss pushes back, and as soon as the moment has passed, it seems like it might not have happened at all. Nothing in the two figures' attitudes betray the act, and the room seems unchanged. You try to remember if you have seen them speaking before now, but you recall there are many moments when you were not with Bliss. As you watch Alma approach, you realize the engine is not just special to you, and that between her and Bliss it might have been the bridge to a unique kind of respect. That's the job, Sleeper. Alma approaches you from the other side of the room. You all know where the payment is to be found. I believe that brings our business to an end. Alma scratches at her hair. I see you've something to add. What brought you here? Scrap dentists to bring scrappers to the places they visit. She sniffs. I knew there was scrap to be found here. Sadly, I did not know that my engine was about to take a turn for the worse. I appreciate the assistance. You are welcome to take what you want from the hangar if you haven't already. You see a knowing shimmer in her eyes. Now, must kindly ask you to leave my ship. As the airlock cycles, you look across at Bliss and swear you see a tear in their eye. What did Alma say? Bliss turns to you as if they forgot you were there. You just reminded me of why I do what I do, why I fix things. They look ahead. There's beauty in it. You find yourself drifting away from Alma's rig in a haze of thoughts. It's clear to you at this point that Alma's history is written all over this place, but more than that, well, can't be sure. This story, it seems, isn't for you. You realize as you gaze at the broken remains of the facility that Alma never took any of her half of the whole. You turn back and squint at the cockpit of her rig. You see her there, looking out across this wasteland, still as a statue. It's an image that, as you load into the rig and begin the preparations to depart, will stick with you. One that every time you enter the engine room of your ship, a room almost identical to the engine room of Alma's rig, will leap into your mind. A woman floating above the wreck of what was once her home, looking for a reason to keep going. Yep. The little quiet moments. What can I say? The dude can write.